Jennifer returns from UK after her masters and comes back to the village with Kelvin, one fine Oyibo man like that, and says this is the person she wants to marry, and insists that Francis, she cannot stay with Francis. Francis is not educated, Francis is not exposed, and she doesn't want to go on with the marriage. And Francis is saying, but I've done everything your parents asked me to do. You are my wife already. And is insisting that Jennifer belongs to her. And Jennifer is saying, no, I've not married you. So my question is, has Francis not married Jennifer? Because he has done everything. In fact, he has given them everything they asked for. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, good question. So the question is Francis already married to Jennifer?
Yes, sir.
Well, sadly, Francis is not married to Jennifer. Yes, Francis saw her through the university, sponsored her master's program in the UK, even, you say, bought a car for the dad,
yes,
opened a provision store for the mom. Yes, all these things are good and kind gestures from Francis, but is Francis under our law married to Jennifer? Is Jennifer bound to Francis in marriage under our law? Perhaps the question is, what is marriage? What is marriage? Under our law, marriage is a union between a man and a woman recognized by law. Now, is the union or the relationship between Francis and Jennifer recognized under our law? I think not. Because under our law, what regulates marriage is called the Marriage Act. Now, under the Marriage Act, there's what is called marriage under the Act. That's kind of marriage. That's the marriage you start at the marriage registry. You go to the marriage registry, you publish a ban of marriage. After publishing the ban of marriage, then you celebrate the marriage after a period of 21 days or thereabout. You celebrate the marriage at a licensed place of worship or at the marriage registry.
Okay.
Now, when I mean a licensed place of worship, I'm talking about a place that is licensed by the government, by law, as a place of worship. And this has nothing to do with the number of worshippers in that place or how big the auditorium is.
Okay.
It might just be an auditorium that contains 10 people. So long as it's a licensed place of worship, then it's a licensed place of worship. It may be an auditorium that contains 10,000 people. If it's not licensed as a place of worship, then it's not a licensed place of worship. The other kind of marriage is the traditional marriage. This is marriage that is conducted under individuals' custom.
Okay.
Custom, that is their culture, that's those involved, where you go to pay bride price, the bride is handed over to the groom in the presence of witnesses. So that is another kind of marriage recognized under our law. And the third one is Islamic marriage. This is marriage conducted under Islamic law. Now, if you ask Francis, which of these did he have with Jennifer? Well, what he did was just mere kind gesture as far as the law is concerned. But he's not married to Jennifer. Jennifer is not married to him.
So, sir, what you are saying is that Jennifer is a single lady and Francis has to go and look for another person.
Sadly so as it is, Jennifer is still a single lady. Francis should go and look for his wife.
Sir, is there any remedy in law for Francis?
Well, in law, is there a remedy for Francis? There could be remedy for Francis. Now, this is what is known as a breach of promise to marry. However, breach of promise to marry is not just something you just go to court to ask court to give a judgment in your favor. There are some ingredients that must be present before you can sue somebody for breach of promise to marry. For instance, if Jennifer and Francis have taken some steps under tradition, for instance, what is called a door knocking.
Okay.
Maybe Francis can say, look, I took my dad, I took my mom, I took the oldest man in my family. We went to Jennifer's house, and then I bought schnapps, I bought palm wine, and then we greeted ourselves. I'm so okay, we are coming back when Jennifer finishes school. Yes, he can lay claim to that and indeed seek for redress in court. Or he can bring an agreement between him and Jennifer. So, okay, look at this agreement where we agree to marry. Now, you might say, when people enter into a relationship, do they write agreement?
You don't write agreement.
Exactly. They might not write agreement, but you can have something written, even text message. Say, look at text message where we mention the day we are going to start premarital class, the day we are going to fix the white wedding and the rest of them. And then you can succeed, perhaps, under the law in an action for breach of promise to marry, but that is as far as it goes.
So, if Francis sues under the law for breach of promise to marry, is the law going to insist that Jennifer marries somebody she doesn't want to spend the rest of her life together with? I mean, what is the remedy? What's the usefulness of going to court if I'll still lose the guy or the girl at the end of the day?
Yes. The law does not force a man to marry a woman, a woman to marry a man. However, every action we take has consequence. And you don't just play with somebody's emotion, make the person alter his or her position, and then you wake up one day and say, oh, the beautiful ones are not yet born. I found a beautiful one now that I want to marry. No. Jennifer made Francis one to spend his money, send her to school.
Yes.
I mean, open a provision store for her mom.
Yes.
Bought a car for the dad. And waited all this while. Maybe while Francis was waiting, there are other angels that have passed by saying, no, my missing reed is in England, coming back soon for us to get married. So the law will not force you to marry her or force her to marry him. However, the law can award damages. And perhaps, maybe after Jennifer finished paying the damages, next time she will advise herself not to take such reckless action.